So I was in this group called Kabbalah 9. It's from the Kabbalah Center of New York City. There's centers all over the world. And there was like a group after the class, and I took some notes, and I wanted to share. So this is maybe going back. I actually did this course of Kabbalah 9 twice. So, 1, we have to say no. We practice keeping track of the many yes moments so we can help validate our no moments as well. When my yes doesn't bring joy and light and instead brings resentment and uncertainty, whether it's lack or diminishment of a self-trust, and when the yes comes from fear or guilt instead of care and grace, then it's time to say no. This means my yes really means something. My reliability and sincerity will improve with this honesty and precision. It can be a favor to let someone learn new skills or make new connections or have a better outcome than from me, maybe somewhere else. It's also like not caving in to be scared that I'll hear no when I need a yes. So in other words, having more trust in the Creator that everything will happen the best possible way. So I might hear a no the same way they might be hearing a no, and everything's going to still be okay. Two, be proud of myself for this difficult growth-oriented lifestyle where I bring light to the dark, and I am the light in the dark. I recognize most people don't want to do the work of mastering their desires, titrating their appetite, self-regulation, compromise, consistency, self-development, self-motivation, abstinence, self-discipline, and having foresight for the long-term, investment, foregoing instant gratification, refining character traits and healing and being whole and not what everyone chooses. For example, my family didn't sign up for it, and so I cannot expect them to respect and appreciate and admire and understand with loyalty and consideration, attention and kindness and care, or investing, their inspiration and money toward this. And 3, being in places with strong positive energy, like the Kabbalah Center in New York is in Manhattan. That's a recommended place for some. I don't usually go there often, but basically there's a density of high vibration in a diamond, like a frequency, in places that specifically focus on and amplify these wavelengths. You could think of these wavelengths as light, oneness, peace, truth, certainty, blessing. I'm going to say the word presence for me is a big one. And we could be charged by the atmosphere like a magnet. I can be less negatively polarized than I was, leaving than when I came in. I would say even nature for me, for example, nature or the park. I go to the park a lot for this purpose. So without anyone actually having to absorb that negative gravity directly from me is another point, so that my aura becomes more balanced and I can attract more of that completeness in my life in all areas, places, relationships, and endeavors. I also want to share that I think we'll leave that topic over there. I want to share from the Circle of the Baal Shem Tov. It's a book by Avraham J Heschel. So the Baal Shem Tov's brother-in-law, Gershon of Kutover, his brother-in-law, before they became close, his sister's husband, Reb Gershon did not expect and even look down at the Baal Shem Tov because of his preconceived notions. He was still, the Baal Shem Tov, the master of the good name, who was still in his self-imposed anonymity, showed himself to be like a simple person on purpose, as if he was an ignorant simpleton. At one point, he even asked for Moshe of Kuti, the leader of the Holy Society at Kuti, who delved into the mysteries of the Torah and removed themselves from the world, the temptations, and undertook the task of bringing about yichudim, unities, with the constant concern being how to serve the Lord. Gathering by Rav Moshe at the Shalosh Shuda, the third meal on Shabbos, until the middle of the night, listening to the words of the living God, and they engaged in practical Kabbalah, dream analysis, discerning holy and evil signs in people's faces, reaching such dizzying heights together that they made a contract that they felt necessary to all enter, that none of them would do prophecy. So Reb Gershon said he wanted to present the Baal Shem Tov as to a deranged woman in Kuti, who had the power to disclose to people both their evil and good tendencies. He hoped that the Baal Shem Tov would learn something from her, rebuke, and change for the better. So obviously everything became revealed later that the Baal Shem Tov did not need or not that he didn't need it, but that Reb Gershon had a very wrong idea, a mistaken idea about him. Also in the circle of the Baal Shem Tov, there were some comments which I wanted to share. One is, before that, I was just saying, you could see that in when we practice Kabbalah, you could see here we're doing the same thing. The Baal Shem Tov started Chassidus, which was like the refined Kabbalah for everyone. So you could see here like the ability to be able to, these mysteries of the Torah is Kabbalah, and to stop the temptations, to bring about unity. The Arach Anpin is often what we call like the long face. It's the forbearance, the one that's, you think of it as the center of the flame that's never changing, that's always constant. And then we have Zer Anpin, the short faced one, that's just like impatience. You might think of this as like a flickering flame. They both have their place. We would say like the mature male who's sort of wise and basking, and then like the immature male, which is sort of like busy and not frantic, but like trying to make things happen. And then I want to share from the book by Rabbi Avraham Aryeh Trugman. It's called 70 Faces. It says, "Speak to the children of Israel and tell them to take from me a contribution from every person whose heart is willing. You shall take my contribution." That's in Shemos, Exodus 25, verses 1 and 2. Many translate as "take me," and from take for me. And this concept is embodied in the obligation to do mitzvos, mem and tzaddik, and vav and hey. So there's this code called atbash, which is where the first letter and the last letter of the alphabet are interchangeable, then the second letter and the second to last letter, then the third letter and the third to last letter. So mem and tzaddik and vav and hey can be interchanged via atbash. So vav, hey is the fifth letter, and so here we're saying the fifth to last letter is tzaddik, and then vav is the sixth to last letter. So sorry, I want to go back for a second. I'm not saying this right. The mem and the tzaddik, and the vav and the hey. So vav and hey is like the second two letters of God's name. Then you have mem and tzaddik could be exchanged for the yud and the hey. The yud is the 10th letter, and mem is the 10th to last letter, and then the tzaddik is the 5th to last letter, and the hey is the 5th to first letter. So thereby it completes the name, which we transform via action and mitzvah. Mitzvah is like the actions we do in the world, into the godliness, the manifestation. It's like physical effects and the physicality. Number 2, in this world, a tree's roots grow below the surface, and the whole trunk, branches, leaves, fruits, they all grow above the ground in an upwards direction. In the upper worlds, however, the opposite is true. The roots grow above, while the tree's trunks and branches, leaves, and fruit grow down below into this world. The lower Beis HaMikdash, the Holy Temple, according to the Rashi Midrash Tanchuma Pekudei 2, is precisely situated so that it is exactly opposite God's heavenly throne. Of glory. So in Shemos 15, verses 17, 18, it says, "You'll bring them and implant them on the mount of your heritage, the foundation of your dwelling place, that you, God, have made, the sanctuary, my Lord, that your hands have established. God will reign for eternity." So the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the Beis HaMikdash, the Holy Temple, is a shadow, a mirror image of the higher reality. It's a two-way street of bilateral influence we can affect above via the thought, speech, and action. Showing one of the functions of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the Beis HaMikdash, is to provide, the Holy Temple, to provide humanity a place to communicate and align with and shape the upper worlds. So here we see Kabbalah is to receive from above. So as above, so below, and as below, so above. Rabbi Hillel of Paritch said, "I used to learn closed off in my room. And when I came out and went to the Besht Medrash, the house of learning, the house of study, the people were like animals to me until I learned Tanya." Tanya's from the Alter Rebbe, not the successor of the Baal Shem Tov, but his successor's successor. So Baal Shem Tov's successor, the Maggid HaMizrich, his successor, and then he saw how inclusive the level of Beinoni is. So you could say, I'm part of all these animals instead of looking at them like they're animals. So, I'll be honest, I'm working on it. Rav Yitzchak Ginsburgh says, this is a Kabbalist and a numerologist. Some of my favorite topics. He lives in Israel. He's about Tshuva. He says that with 10 utterances the world was created, and the first letter. So be'esra maimaris never ha'olam. So the first letters you have mibaneh if you take the first letters and not exactly in the order of the 4 words, but you put them together, you get the word structure. And the last letters, you get the word ha'emet, truth. So you would say that it's both. It's like, and then when you put them together, you get the eyesher, like you get the idea that I will be that, which is one of God's names. So this idea that the structure and the truth. So there's like a container, and then it's carrying the truth. And I think we'll stop here, and I wish you a blessed day. And tomorrow is my birthday, so I did leave a video the other day with blessings for everyone. I just wish us, to succeed, to recognize our lovability, to have healthy self-esteem, true self, to resist temptation, to forego instant gratification, to refine our character traits and heal and be whole and be proud of ourselves for the difficult growth-oriented lifestyles that we're doing, and to be able to say no and to be able to say yes, real yes, with certainty, with no resentments, rather care and grace and reliability and sincerity, honesty and precision, and learning new skills and having tolerance for our families and being in places with strong, positive energy, like the diamond frequency, amplifying the wavelengths, whether it's in the park, for lightness, oneness, presence, peace, and truth, and certainty, blessing, and to be less negatively polarized and not needing anyone to take in the gravity of our negativity, and to be able to recognize that maybe who we think is an animal is not, or maybe who we think is an ignorant simpleton is not, to have our life, our glasses cleaned, and to be able to connect both with the arach ampin, the long face of forbearance, and also with the short face one of impatience at the right times and the right moments, and to be able to breathe well, and not to have physical pain in our necks and our backs and our joints and and to connect with our trees' roots and branches and leaves and fruits and the trunk, and to grow both upwards and to grow both also downwards, and to be able to affect the higher reality for good, and make those unions, those yichudim, and to have the community where we connect to the words of the living God and engage in a sense of holy society, in a sense of a holy society. Amen. Ken Yiritzon, and may I bond not just with who I thought would be a partner, but a partner that I could actually marry and have children with, and a partner in another half, in the soulmate, like what the tradition has said, that to have a wife, to have somebody from the faith, from the Jewish faith, to be able to teach to my children, and to have a sacred marriage, and a blessed house with abundance and flow and as much income, necessary livelihood. Everything should be covered easily, without struggle. Amen. Keni Hiritzon. A healthy, hardworking, strong man, handsome, beautiful, sense of humor, kind, generous, loving, doesn't want to work a woman like a dog, wants to do his work, communicative, mature, sensitive, devoted, makes effort. And may we continue to learn Torah and catch up with all that we have piled up, and even go well beyond that, and let go of what we're not supposed to do, and any pushiness, forcefulness, or compliance patterns, or any of those sort of maybe egoic power struggle structures, to fall away in the truth, so that the structures themselves are perfectly matched to the truth. Amen. Okay, bye.